Bishop will also want to make some points. First of all, I want to say that this community is a community that we can work with. We have to ensure that people work together. So you have a number of issues that you all raised that could be settled before we came here. Small things. You have to work with your NDCs, NDC and your region. They have, first of all, they have money to do small work in the community. The NDC guys normally have a subvention, but also sometimes residents are guilty. They are not paying their rates and taxes, and they want development to take place. It can't work like that. Government over the years have been increasing subvention to the NDC, but that is not enough to do the works. One road, a proper road, 4-mile road or 3-mile road, Bishop will tell you it'll cost about $30 million, proper road. The NDC, they can't do one road with the money they have. And when you look at the collection of rates and taxes, it's very low. Sometimes about 40% only they collect for the entire NDC. And every single person in the community wants development to take place. But it's both ways we have to work. We have to ensure that we cooperate with the local bodies. We work together, we form ourselves into groups. There are a lot of opportunities now for people in this country. But sometimes we don't try to get those opportunities to try to go out to see how we can get and benefit from those opportunities. For example, I will tell you, we mentioned it last week when the group came to us. We said 4 years ago that we will deliver to the people of this country 20,000 scholarships in 5 years. We found out last week that there was about a few persons in this community who knows about the Gold Scholarship. To date, we have delivered 28,000 scholarships free. People whose child never dream of going to university, they are now today a holder of a degree, a holder of a master's, right from the home. But you are not taking up these opportunities that are being made available to you, the residents. So you have to ensure that you go out, you listen, you see what are the opportunities, and you take it up. The government has been making funds available. For example, I can tell you, when I became Minister of Agriculture in 2020, the budgetary allocation in the agriculture sector was $13.5 billion. It reduced from 2015 from 18.5 billion to 13.5 billion. So that shows the interest wasn't there in the agriculture sector, because many areas we have seen reduction in production. Reduction in production. We have seen infrastructures, and what you are saying today, many of the infrastructure that could have been done, we haven't done, and now we have to put those things in place. We are to date for this year, we have $97 billion in the agriculture sector to expend. We have been working across this country to modernize the agriculture sector and all the other sectors. All the other sectors. If you look at the health sector now in this country, we are building new hospitals across the country. New hospitals across the country. We are building state-of-the-art hospital. The same services that you have to go Georgetown for, the same services will be at those new hospitals. So those are new opportunities. Bishop will talk about the infrastructural development. We have moved the education budget to this year to $135 billion. And not only I am talking about the Gold Scholarship, but in every other areas in the education sector, we are seeing opportunities. We are seeing children now are more, and when you look at the comparison, the expenditure that we are making in the education sector, for example, the government is expending approximately $700,000 annually for one child. And if that same child have to go to a private school, they will only spend about $300,000. So you can see more expenditure It's been made by the central government. And we want our people to take up these opportunities. That is why we are making it available. And don't matter that you never went to school for and you can't do the gold scholarship. We have a remedial course. As long as you take that course and you pass that course, you can enter and go and study a bachelor's degree, a master's, a diploma, whatever you want to do. And qualify yourself. Qualify, because when you look today, the various sectors in our country, we are seeing massive development. And there will be more opportunities. As our country develops, we will need more skilled persons. And people who don't qualify or who are not making an effort, they will left behind. We can't continue to do menial job and do more labor intensive thing. Even right in the agriculture sector, what we thought before that 10 years ago, we thought it will remain stagnant. It's moving rapidly. We are seeing innovation. We are seeing we are trying to bring modernization into it. Whereas we used to do water plant with bucket, now we are now starting to see drip irrigation. We are building shade houses. We are bringing hydroponics. We are bringing aquaponics. All these things, all these development we are bringing to the country. As I am speaking now, we have one of the largest hydroponics farm in the Caribbean, right here in Guyana. Right here, only today we went and visited, we took some visitors from India to look at it, and see what we are doing. We are now replicating that in different parts of the country, in 3 other regions, where we are bringing in more young people, because young people feel that agriculture is a labor-intensive job for old people who never went to school. We are now changing that perception. We are changing that perception, and we are now seeing improvement. For example, in 2021, we imported in this country $2.6 billion in high-value crops, things like broccoli, cauliflower, carrot, lettuce, bell pepper, you name it. The president said that, look, we have to get young people. We have to encourage young people to get involved in agriculture. There are a number of young people who went to University of Guyana, who went to the Guyana School of Agriculture, and they are not doing agriculture. They are just sitting behind a desk doing clerical work. We are now changing that. We form a company where we are making young people shareholders of this company. The president formed that company, the Agriculture Entrepreneurship Innovation in Entrepreneurship Program, where we are making over 300 young people are shareholders. At the end of the year, when they sell the crop, we're giving them dividend, profit from the company. These are the things we're doing. A lot of young people now are making their living through agriculture, what we are doing with the shade house program that we have. In the livestock sector, we are bringing in improved breed of animal so that we help farmers. These are the things. We want Guyana to be a hub in food production. Guyana today, when in 2020, we had lost that place. Many old persons here will tell you, since the formation of CARICOM, Guyana always lead in agriculture. And since Forbes Burnham time, Guyana always lead in agriculture. But we lost that position from 2015 to 2020. It was taken up by St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In 2020, when our new president retook, we rescued that position back, and he's leading that sector once again. He's the lead in agriculture and food production in CARICOM. And today we are seeing that political will, where the entire CARICOM is saying that we have to reduce the food import bill by 25% by 2025. And if that has to be successful, then Guyana has to be successful, because what we have, the other countries in the Caribbean don't have. We have abundant fresh water, and we have flat and arable land. Two main ingredients. And now, as a government, we are now spending money to develop the infrastructure. You might not get everything that you want, but of course, we have to start from somewhere. We already, you made an issue, or raised an issue about the drainage. I will have the engineer to go and check the drainage, and we'll do work to rehab your drainage system in this community. You talk about your farm to market road, we'll look at it. Although we don't have it in our budget this year, we'll look to see what we can do, but of course we'll put it in our budget to ensure that we do it next year. So these are the kind of things we are doing. We have to be responsive to the needs. We are not saying that agriculture is a private work and we not spend money in agriculture. Agriculture, and my colleague here might be a little, say that I am a little prejudiced here, but agriculture is the most important sector for us. Because you know why? Agriculture is responsible for producing food. We can make all the roads that Bishop making, but we got to get food for eat. Right? So, I am saying, so there are a lot of opportunities for farmers in our country. And we are working with different groups of farmers. As I said, that we have seen massive increase in the budgetary allocation in the agriculture sector, in the housing sector, in the education sector, in the health sector, in the infrastructure Bishop will talk to you about and tell you how much we have invested. And if you go around this country now, we see a revolution in terms of road building. Every corner you go, you see road building. A transformation taking place in our country. So we must be appreciative also and work with the authority. Work with the authority as I am speaking here now. In 3 months' time, we'll have a ferry service from Guyana to Trinidad and Barbados. That ferry service is to transport produce across the Caribbean. Eventually that ferry service will traverse the entire CARICOM. But when you come to Guyana, we have to have produce to put in it. That is why we are now building a food hub. We are building a food hub at Yarrow Cabra on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway. $14 million will be expended to build that food hub at that there. So that means we have to now ensure that farmers produce. Farmers produce and you'll have ready market for your produce. And when you look around the Caribbean now, there are a lot of demands for Guyanese produce. I went to Barbados with a private sector team. I met with the private sector over there, and they are saying that they prefer Guyana fruits and vegetables than the Central America one. Things like oranges, banana, you name it, pineapple and things like that. So we have to produce. We can't get the land and keep the land abandoned. We have been working with various groups. So when a young man come and ask me that they need certain implements, we will work with you all and we'll try to help you to get those implements so that you can plant and produce. We'll see what we can help you if you want tillers. All the planting materials we will make free of cost to you. We will ensure that we work with you to give you other input. As I'm speaking now, the demands are so high in terms of planting material. We have 11 nurseries across this country. But the nurseries cannot satisfy the demands that farmers are making. So we are building a tissue culture lab. A tissue culture, that lab will produce millions of planting material annually. So we can satisfy the needs of the Guyanese farmers. We can produce planting material that we want to, things that are high value. The planting material that are high in value and give to the farmers to plant. So when we are talking about agriculture, we have to talk about large-scale agriculture. We are here as a government and we will continue to invest in this very important sector. We have seen what has happened when we had the pandemic. Many countries around the world had large sums of money, but they were unable to procure food for the population because there was a scarcity of food. What we are doing today, we are producing 60% of the food that we are consuming in this country. The president said we have to produce more. So we have been expanding on the traditional produce, things like fruits and vegetables, rice. We are now resuscitating the sugar industry. We are going to new crops too. So we said every year we are importing in this country between 50 to 60 million US dollars in corn and soya for the livestock industry. We said by next year, we must grow all the corn and soy and be self-sufficient here in Guyana. By the end of this year, we have started that cultivation in the Tacoma Savannah. We have a number of investors who have invested in that area. By the end of this year, we'll expand cultivation to 12,000 acres. And by next year, by May next year, we hope to increase that by 25,000 acres. If we can do that twice annually, we will be self-sufficient in producing all our needs, and also we'll be a net exporter to export in the Caribbean. We'll save $60 million in terms of we used to buy these things from overseas. That could go into other sectors to do development. We said, Guyana now, what we are doing, we are developing the entire intermediate savanna. Whilst we are developing the Tacoma Savannah, we did hundreds of kilometers of road there. You could leave within 2 hours from Georgetown and you meet in the Tacoma Savannah now, through Linden. We have built wharf. We have put in 18,000-ton silos there that were used to dry the soya there. We are now building a wharf there so ship can go directly to the Borbis River at Tacoma, offload. And we are building a conveyor system from the silo right onto the ship. So those are the development taking place there now. Also, at Kimbia, we will be producing all our needs for black-eyed peas and red beans. And within a year from now, we will export to the various Caribbean countries all the black-eyed peas and red beans. As I am speaking now, we are building a road there. How many kilometers? 34 kilometers of road we are building in the Kimbia area. We have 2 investors already. They have started to plant these black-eyed peas and red beans. We are now putting in a silo there so that we can use that silo to process the black-eyed peas. So all these development are taking place. But I bet many of y'all didn't know about this before. What is taking place around the country. Because in this community you are very close in here. And you don't go out to see the kind of opportunities. So you need to take up these opportunities. We have a government that is responsive to the entire country's need. Yesterday I was in Buxton. If you look at social media, the ministry page, you'll see it. I was in Buxton yesterday. And a number of farmers there. We went before, and a number of farmers came out and they need more help. And we'll be extending those help to the farmers. We're working with the farmers in Beirut. We're working with farmers in Victoria. We're working with farmers in Nabaklis. All those areas we have a lot of farming activities taking place. We have been doing a lot of work, and likewise, we can work with you in this community. I want you to work along with the local leaders. You know this thing, and we got to be careful. We have to be careful because we have to look at the opportunities. Sometimes we are so drowned in our own way. We see an opportunity, and because of politics, we tell we don't want it. Leave it. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. All of us have to work together for the development of this country. Y'all agree with me? Yes. Right. So let us work today because we have a government that is very responsive. We have a president that is moving to different areas across this country. Region 3 person. And I will tell you, in every single corner of this country, he's trying to go to various communities. Last week I was with him in Region 1. We went to a place called Bonasika. We went to we worked Independence Day. We worked the entire Demerara River going up to Linden, various villages on the Demerara River. So all these areas, we are working and we are bringing the kind of development to the residents of these communities. As I said, the government is responsive. You have great opportunities. We have a lot of projects going on. And yes, Miss, you asked about the pump station. The contractor is behind schedule. I think in 3 months' time, by the end of July, that pump station should complete. Right? And you'll have that pump station. But what we are also doing, We are doing massive mega projects. You know, on the East Coast, we have a canal called the Hope Canal, that high bridge across that road there. That is the Hope Canal. Now, when we build that canal, many persons were saying that that will be a white elephant. But that canal saved the East Coast and saved Georgetown when we had the 2021 flood. Now, we are doing in 3 regions, regions 3, 5, and 6. We are building some of those canals. So in region 6, we are building 2 of those canals. In region 5, how many? 4 of those canals. And here, B-line. B-line, we are building a massive Hope-like canal shortly, will commence in your community, B-line here. So the water, that will be a high-level canal, because it can run when the tide is up. That will not work with the tide, that will work anytime. So that is why we call it a high-level canal, so you can continuously drain the water directly from the backland right on into the river, rather than the backland water putting stress on the housing drainage system or the cultivation drainage system. We want an independent drainage system, a high-level canal, massive Hope-like canal, with a large structure in front to drain the water directly into the river, so that we don't have the stress on the housing or the cultivation drainage system. That will commence shortly. As I'm speaking now, the design is being being done by a firm and will come shortly to start the work in your community. Those are the kind of development we're talking about. And we'll work with you. We'll work with you to bring the kind of development that you want. As I said, you mentioned road, you mentioned street lights, you mentioned drainage and irrigation, you mentioned farm to market road. We'll work with you. We are not coming here to make promises. We are not coming here to make promises. Because I can tell you, if you're talking about promises, as a party and a government, we take our promises very seriously. Because for the first time, I can tell you, in less than 4 years, all the commitment, almost all the commitment we have made to the people of this country, we are fulfilling in less than 4 years. That's an achievement for us. So what we come here this afternoon, we'll have a number of follow-up. Our officers will be coming to work with you. We will be coming back. And also the opportunities, because Minister Hamilton, when he comes back into the country, he will come here. And he has a lot of program under his ministry that he could train the young people into various skills. Heavy duty operator, train them to be to work in the oil and gas industry. We told you that when we met with you and the young ladies, right? And we have Minister Waldron, who we promise also will come into here to talk about the Small Business Bureau for opportunity for young people who want and people who want to get involved into business. So there are a lot of opportunities. You have to come out, you have to work together, we have to work as a group, you have to cooperate with the authority, and let us put aside politics and work to the benefit of every single citizen in this country. So I will pause here and ask my colleague to make a few remarks, and rest assured, the issues that you have raised with us, we will take it on board, and from the Ministry of Agriculture level, Mr. Lal here, you all know Lal, who is working in this community, he will come back, he will do a report for us. The group, the comrade who raised the issue about the input that you all need, we'll work with you. We have Mr. Jagdeo and Nari here, and we'll try to see how we can work to deliver on those commitments. Thank you very much, comrade, and I'll ask my colleague Bishop to make some remarks.
Thank you very much, Minister Mustapha. Chairman, Vice Chair, and residents of this community, a very good afternoon. I'm no stranger to you, since we've been here working with you several times, walking and seeing what needs to be done. So I'm very pleased to join my colleague in enhancing and further bringing development to you, the people here in Bagotville. So you have highlighted 3 items that we will follow up on. Number 1, I want to assure you the road Glasgow Street, which is going to link you with number 1, is already past the tendering stage. It's now at evaluation for award. So a contractor would be named and that work will begin. I was trying to get my records to give you the exact amount of roads that we would have done in Nimes, Bagotville since we are in office. 9. So thank you, Chairman. Former Chairman, because she worked with me in these areas. But I want to assure you that the one that is remaining, that is highlighted, it is what we have been doing in communities, in what we call a phased manner. Everybody would like to see their road being done first. What we did, the main access. Once we had the main access, we're now going through the cross streets. All right? So that one is already awarded. But that work that we're doing in Bagotville is what is taking place in every local authority area in all 10 administrative regions. And that is not part of what we are doing in the hinterland communities. So since we are in government, we would have done 4,000 plus community roads. Y'all heard the number, right? 4,000, not 400, 4,000 plus community roads. And one of the reasons why people could complain about a road is because they're seeing roads being done. If roads weren't being done, there would be no complaint. Everybody will rise, road broke up, that's how you gotta go. But we have made a commitment that we will bring that kind of service to people. The second issue that you raised, which is concerning the 2 bridges, we will try to accommodate that through the Ministry of Public Works. The head of my special projects unit is here, Mr. Gittins. Mr. Gittins?
Yes, sir.
Talk to that same fellow in the red jersey. His name is John. Right? And next to him is a lady named Olivia. That same lady that is smiling there. So we will get our bridges program and we will try to get it done. Now listen to me carefully. NDC and REO. Submit to us within the week at least 5 competent contractors who could undertake the work, and let it be from the region and let it be from the area. So we don't have to bring people from over the river to come and work here. We'll give the work to the people in the area. So submit to us if you got people in the village or nearby who could execute the work. We will do a selective tendering at the ministerial level because they are small projects, $78 million a piece, and we have 2 lots, so we'll be able to do that. So if you know people who could do it, but you have to have the machinery we can, you got to drive piles, and because it's a long stretch, it's 100 and something feet. Now, from the 2nd week in July, Mr. Gittins, I want you to listen to this commitment I'm making. From the 2nd week in July, the core team, along with you, the community activists, will be engaged, and we're going to clean up the areas, the shoulders, weed up, carry away the garbage and everything, where we have to go to our sacred monument and celebrate our emancipation activities. Is that agreeable? Yes. But you got to participate. Right? So we're going to get the coordinator of the core to engage you, and we'll be able to do that. I want to follow what my colleague minister has said, I don't know how many of you are actually preparing for the transformation that is coming to your area. Within less than 12 months, from now I'm speaking, that new Demerara Harbor Bridge will be completed. You know what that means? The price for property, the price for rent, and everything on the west side will go up. Because the bridge is no longer a headache to get into town and come back. It will be a 4-lane bridge, 24 hours, no closing, and nothing of the sort.
Any cost?
Huh?
Any cost to it?
Yes, you got to pay a toll. Just like what you pay your toll now.
Increase or decrease?
We don't pass on hardships to people of Guyana. Look at the track record of the PVPC. We have taken away and reduced our tax base by not collecting tax on 200 items. And license and fees and so on. And we still run the country and we give it to people more. So we don't pass on hardship, we reduce the fatigue of people.
Very commendable.
Thank you. So that bridge will be completed. And it will be a massive development. Now, what is the expectation? And that's what you have to start preparing for. In terms of agriculture, Minister Mustapha has highlighted what you need to be doing. But when we continue with that 4-lane highway from Schoonard to carry through the back to CARICOM, it means people who are looking for land to open factories and open big, large-scale operations that is Georgetown and the East Bank and East Coast is congested, they will come to those lands. And if the businesses are coming over here, it means employment for your children and your grandchildren. Do you understand what I'm saying? So everybody don't have to run to town to get work. The work will be right over here. And as a matter of fact, people from town will be coming over here to get work because it's going to be ease of commute. So I want to encourage you to start understanding and start preparing yourselves through the Board of Industrial Training. You can learn to be a bobcat operator, and my understanding is that once they teach you to operate a bobcat, you're going to operate the excavator, the bulldozer, and everything, because it's the same levers and system and the mechanisms that are involved. So go to the Board of Industrial Training and learn to be a heavy-duty equipment operator, because they will have demands to that. I want to show you how it works. In the construction sector, we ran out of operators for heavy-duty equipment because all the people who were operating excavators and so on, they migrated to the gold bush because they were making $600,000, $700,000 a month just operating an excavator in the gold operation. While on the coast, with the road contractors and so on, they were probably making $250 to $300. The demand for operators became great because once you're expanding and once you're growing and doing more things, you need more people to be involved. You would have heard, and I know over this side, and I know the skills that you have, you got great body workmen and welders and so on. But the government is providing opportunities for people to become higher grade welders so that you can serve in the oil and gas industry. You got to be able to weld thicker plates, so you have to up your skill and your grade. At Port Morant, and don't say it far because nowhere is far, at Port Morant in Borbies, we are going to be having what you call a training institute to equip people for the oil and gas sector. And you remember years ago, for the older ones, Guy Suku used to run the training school at Port Morant. And now when you go to a place like Canada, the fitter machinists and the late operators in the forest world, in Canada especially, most of them came out of Port Morant. So I want you to start thinking in that direction. Now, one of the other major transformational projects that is coming to Guyana is taking place right in your backyard. The gas to energy project. We are bringing in gas to fire turbines at Wales, just down the road. Just down the road at Wales. Now once you have that major intake of gas at Wales that is producing electricity, and of course you know we've been saying that that electricity will bring your light bill down at your home by 50%, reduce the cost of electricity, but there will also be need for workers. Because with an off-spin of that kind of available electricity, you can be able to do light manufacturing. The petrochemical industry can develop, which will include the production of fertilizers for the agriculture sector. So skills will be required in this area. So we must not only look at the pothole on the road that needs to be fixed, which we are fixing. This entire thoroughfare, Vreeden Hoop, all the way out to Wales, will have to be redone. We see the road is cracking, it's got slippage and all the rest of it. That will be a separate project that will come on stream as soon as we can get some of the major things in and some of the heavy equipment already moved, because you don't want to build a road and then transport heavy equipment and then damage it. We want to get that out of the way, and then we'll be able to come with that new road, bringing us better relief in this area. Now, but with the gas, the energy project, I want the people of the West Bank to lock on it. Read about it, find out more, start preparing yourself for work that will be available in that area, and start preparing yourself for the next move. I cannot reiterate. Government has done what no other country in the world has done to ensure that Guyanese benefit from the prosperity that is coming to Guyana. One of it is to make sure Guyanese are properly equipped, trained, and educated so that they could get the jobs. Because you can't complain, oh, them white people there, the white people this, and the white, and so on. And we complain about foreigners, because sometimes it's not just the people from North America or Europe, but people from other parts of the world, whether it's from Asia, the Middle East, or Latin America. We can't keep complaining about that. We have to prepare ourselves. And in preparing ourselves, we have to get qualified. Join the Gold Scholarship Program, enroll in BIT, which is the Board of Industrial Training, which provides the skills training and the rest of it. The only other thing that I would want to add for this afternoon's meeting, development comes with changes. Let me show you one of the things that you gotta recognize. I used to live at Stanley Town up the road here. And Amsterdam used to be the main car walking late in the night. So when you're coming home, 13 of you used to fit in the Morris Oxford, Amsterdam used to drive. You all know the story. You never used to enter the car sometime from the passenger door. He used to come out and you gotta go in from his side. You all know the story. Look at the traffic congestion now on the West Bank. Y'all are seeing it, right? You remember when the bridge was built, and when my good friend, Mr. Conrad Wright, was the general manager, another West Bank man from up sister side, used to run the bridge. And bridge breakdown, used to sit on a big shrimp at the bridge. You used to clean your fish, everything so it won't spoil. We have been able to get past all of that. And now we are moving from a bridge that could have those kinds of issues into a high-span bridge. The Port Georgetown used to stop at Houston. We have extended Port Georgetown all the way up to Wales, which means all these front lands here have become more valuable. People are buying it out, and I notice some people, locals, are selling out. And I want to caution you, be careful, because you might have good value that you're giving away cheap, cheap, cheap. Because people are of the view that if they buy out your land, they will get immediate access of what is called riparian rights to the river. And they'll be able to build out in the river and all the rest of it. And that's because this is now becoming a major, major thoroughfare. Just look and see, major businesses have relocated over this side. Major sand and quarry operations and loom operations are operating on this side, barging over and all the rest of it. So development in your area is coming, it's here. People are investing in trucks on the West Bank. Carroll used to have tractor and trailer fetching cane from Larry Trade. And sometimes you go through the back and meet all the way to Iflot if you can, when the private farmers finish, to Wales. Now people ain't got tractor and trailer. The time used to drag one tractor dragging 2 trailers, sometimes 3 trailers. Now people are investing in trucks. And the trucks could not only work over here, the trucks work in everywhere, wherever you get a contract. The climate for investment has changed significantly. And you just can't sit down in the corner and say, me ain't getting nothing. You got to say, what can we do? How can we be involved? And I'm proud to say, and I can challenge anybody in this one in a debate, there has never been a government that is so accessible to people like this PBPC government. Never. You can meet ministers, they come to your villages multitude of times. You don't have to stand up and be nervous when a minister comes. You could talk to them. And when we take your concerns, we respond and we answer them. So I'm saying that to let you know, it's not a time to be intimidated and to be fearful, but it's a time to engage. Come and talk. Come and speak. Let us hear your concerns. And let us work together for the building of Guyana. And finally, I'm very happy with the turnout of men here this afternoon. One of the meetings that I've come here with, they got more men than women. And I'm happy to see that this afternoon. And I want to say, give a special message to the brothers, to all the brothers. You know, when the water raise, all the boats that are on the water top, just rise up. Just go by the coke and see. If it's a boat with a hole, the one is rise up to. If it's an expensive boat, the one is rise up. If it's ballyhoo, the one is rise up. No matter what is the boat, everybody just rise up when the water coming. Am I correct? I'm trying to tell you, position yourself, brothers, that when the tide of prosperity come into this country, you're up on the water top. Because even if your boat hold, it is still raised up. Everybody will benefit. And when President Ali talks about a one Guyana, it means that there is opportunity for every single Guyanese. Brothers, come together and form yourselves into a group. One of you might not be able to do the job by yourself. For example, you might be a carpenter, a good carpenter, and we're going to build 2 bridges. But you see, if you come together with the man who owned the excavator or the man who could got the power tools, and you come together in a group, you could get the work, and in getting the work, you share it among yourselves. And that is something that we have to think about. We have become so competitive in terms of how we could get things done. Standing alone, with a spade, or with a trowel and a wheelbarrow, and a sledgehammer, or an auger, or whatever you got. You can't compete with the man who's coming in with several other pieces of equipment who could help with execution. But when you pool your resources together, there is strength in togetherness. So I want to say to the brothers, the other family, cousins, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, let's come together and do things together. If there's anything that I would say to you that will help your forward movement, everybody can't become a contractor by themselves.
No way, please.
We could come together and we could do things together. We'll be prepared to facilitate that. So, Guyana is all of us, the PPPC, through its various programs and projects, and the policies that we're implementing is for the benefit of all of our people. Let me give you an example. Last week, Monday, the Vice President had an open day. Several hundreds of people were there. Today, Wednesday of the following week, 2 ministers are in your community talking to you. That is the level of swiftness in which we respond. We want to stay engaged. We will work with you. Don't be carried away by the rhetoric and the Facebook gaffe. Laugh and have good fun on Facebook, but take your life serious. And since I won't see most of you again, brothers, happy Father's Day in advance. God bless you all, and thank you very much.
Good afternoon, my name is Kevin John. It is very important and nice that Minister Edghill, Minister Mustapha, and other extension officers have come out to Bagotville this afternoon. We can see the ministers are here to engage with the community. I can only urge people in the future, when you see these people, to engage with them, explain to the ministers them what is your problem. The government is there to assist you with your issues and problems, and I am a product of them who have received help from them. So I can urge you and urge other young people as me to approach the government and share your issues, man. The government are there to help you in whatever way possible. And I see these meetings as very beneficial when they come out and set out the time to reach with residents. So I must commend the government for doing this, and I hope they continue to reach out in all formative areas and communities, and at the set time upholding each promise that they will be making to residents. Well, for me, basic aspect is one that I do farming in number 1 canal, and I have received assistance from the government with excavators to help cultivate our lands. I'm a rice farmer, also a pineapple farmer as well, and I do have a crash crop between. So they have been assisting farmers in my area in that issue. So another issue is that we would be needing roads, farmers access roads, and they have made promise to come and cultivate some of those. I have received 2 bridges from the name Mr. Jagdeo. He was one who infrastructured that, who streamlined that when they reached out in our community. And I have received 2 heavy-duty bridges on the behalf of me and asking for my residents. That was something I can say. That was another issue that we were very grateful for. So I can commendably say the government has been keeping to their word in certain aspects, and going forward I can only look forward to see what more they have to offer for us.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Olivia David, the CDC chairperson for Bagotville presently, and I am pleased this afternoon to be here with this gathering where the ministers came to interact with the residents of this community. We are a vibrant community where farming is a lot of importance to us. Our roads and the developments are vital to our community, of our livelihood. And this is a great initiative happening here today, and we're so grateful. Look, they're promising us a road. We got on roads. We got our trenches dug out. We got the farming lands open. They give us lights. They give us new schools. They give us so much already. And they're continuing to bring more to the table and making sure that our community and our residents are being looked after. And that's what we are here for. The CDC is working hand in hand with the NDC and the ministers as well too, helping this government to provide services that everybody needs, benefits, and wants. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this. Get on board with your local groups in your areas and come out to meetings. That's the only way you'll know what is going on in your community and be a part of what is happening. Be a part of the change. It's happening daily, every day in front of us, and all it takes is you to be on board. Come out and be a part of what is going on, hear what is happening, and so that you know where it can benefit you.